Hello again, everybody. This is John flying solo today for BestPriceNutrition.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the ALRI, or ALR Industries, I've heard it said both ways, chained out. Specifically, what this is a BCAA product. Those of you not familiar with BCAAs, they're the branched-chain amino acids. The branched chain refers to the chemical structure of them. They kind of have their functional chain, if you will, sticks out almost like a branch. So that's where the name comes from. And we hear a lot about them. If you read any bodybuilding magazine or anything like that, you're going to hear a lot about BCAAs and how important they are. And that's because about a third of muscle tissue is made of BCAAs. So they're very abundant in the body. The biggest question that people run into with BCAAs is how much should I take and so on and so forth. So we're going to try and tackle some of those questions for you here today. Specifically this product, I'm going to start with the second set of ingredients, which are it's a proprietary blend. And what these are is some added ingredients in addition to BCAAs. Most BCAA supplements are going to be your 3 branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Plus a lot of companies add glutamine to it. I'm glad to see that there's not glutamine in this because right now there's really not any research to show that supplementing extra glutamine is beneficial. That's not to say that getting glutamine in your diet and whatnot is not a good thing. It's just that the supplementation of it to this point has not been proven to be beneficial or performance enhancing to date. Although it is very abundant in the body. So the second blend consists of alanine, which is another amino acid that they add to it. I'm not sure why it's in there. I would suspect it's a glucogenic amino acid, so that means that your body can convert it into sugar. So perhaps that's in there maybe to protect the other amino acids. Not really sure. Couldn't find any good research as to why. They also add theanine, which is an amino acid that's found in tea. It actually causes you to relax. So it's a bit of an adaptogen. So you'll see that in a lot of products, and there's some pretty good research in showing that that does help people relax and maybe a little bit of mental focus. Next is going to be Cordyceps. It's on here as Cordyactive. It's a trademark name. Cordyceps have been shown to increase endurance. Not sure what kind of extract they're using in here. Usually with herbs you're going to see an extract percent. Not sure, but that is the main use why Cordyceps would be in here. Rhodiola rosea. That used to be big in a lot of products you'd see because the thought was that it would decrease stress hormone. And boy, I'm losing my train of thought as to what stress hormone it would be. Well, anyways, we'll come back to it. And apple active, which is apple peel extract. Apple peel extract is going to be good for the antioxidants. That's the main reason why it's going to be in there. And cortisol. I can't believe I forgot that. Cortisol is the hormone I was trying to think of. Rhodiola rosea has been shown to be a bit of an adaptogen, helps your body deal with stress, and that's a stress hormone. So that's why that's in there. So that makes this product a little bit unique compared to some of the other BCAAs, is the addition of these ingredients. As I said, not sure why the alanine's in there. There may be some good reason. I haven't really found anything out there. Now, the BCAAs themselves in this product, like I said, it's leucine, isoleucine, and valine, but specifically they use a malate form of these. So can't really see why they would use the malate form. I mean, main reason I could see is perhaps to increase the solubility of it in water. BCAAs are hydrophobic, so they may not mix as well when you're not getting the esterified form of them. So that could be why. Also, the malate, that may also help. I mean, it's a source of malate, so I guess I could see how that would be a reason why. But beyond that, there's not really a good reason why. I mean, what I did see on their site, why they said that they were doing it, is to limit the chance that your body will turn them into sugar via gluconeogenesis. As a couple of these amino acids are glucogenic, so they can be turned into sugar. That's what that means. Specifically, valine and isoleucine are glucogenic. Isoleucine is glucogenic and ketogenic, which means it can be converted to ketone bodies. And leucine is strictly ketogenic. It's one of the only two. I believe lysine is the other one that can only be converted to ketone bodies. So that's why they say, but really more than anything, what's going to affect that is your blood sugar levels and your dietary needs. So if you're on a hypocaloric diet, well then it's more likely that your body's going to take a glucogenic amino acid and turn it into sugar via gluconeogenesis. If you have plenty of carbs in your system, you're eating a lot of calories, that's going to be less likely to happen. I think that's a better determining factor. Couldn't find any research as to how using a malate form of these amino acids would actually prevent that from happening. So again, there may be something out there. I just couldn't find anything in my research to validate that. But that being said, that doesn't change the effectiveness of branched chain amino acids. Specifically, you're always going to be looking for a 2-to-1 ratio of your BCAAs, leucine, isoleucine, and valine. and leucine being the one that you want the most of, because leucine is probably considered to be the most important. It's a protein metabolism modulator. So that means is that we hear a lot about this Mtor pathway. Well, what the Mtor pathway does is when it's activated, it can actually cause protein synthesis. That's really what it comes down to. And leucine does that by increasing insulin secretion. When insulin levels get increased, the Mtor pathway gets activated. Which brings us to the next point. Carbohydrates also do the same thing. So if you've seen some of our other videos where we've talked about BCAAs, we don't dismiss the use of them because, as we said, a third of muscle tissue is made of them. It's very rich in whey protein. I think something like 25% of whey protein is BCAAs. Casein's a pretty rich source as well. But it's when to take them and who are they best for? Well, ultimately, if you're on a hypocaloric diet and you're trying to avoid calories, that's where BCAAs are going to shine. That's where they're going to be best. You want to avoid calories, so maybe you want something to prevent catabolism, prevent your body from breaking down muscle. So you can take some BCAAs before you work out, during your workout, after your workout. Timing is up to you. That's the people that are going to benefit most. If you're bulking up and you're sucking down a lot of protein, and you got a lot of carbs in your system, well, BCAAs they're just not going to do as much for you because you don't have that need to activate that Mtor pathway because the carbs are already taking care of that for you. The excess calories, you're not in danger of burning up muscle because you're eating so many calories. So that's one really big thing to consider when you're trying to weigh out, hey, should I get a BCAA supplement? Another group of people that can really benefit from it are vegans and vegetarians, because typically the amino acid profile that they're going to get in their proteins is not going to be as rich in BCAA. So it's probably a good idea for them, independent of eating extra carbs and stuff. It may be a good idea for them also to supplement with BCAAs. Let's see, other questions we had on these is these have also been used for, as we said, they prevent fatigue. They can increase your concentration. They've been shown to increase appetite in patients. I believe cancer patients specifically, when they're pretty run down with chemo and stuff like that, it can. And I presume that's probably due to the leucine spiking insulin and lowering blood sugar and then making you hungry. That's my best guess on why you would see that. Who can benefit from it? We already went through that. Again, people on who are trying to lean out, really watching your calories. You're kind of walking that tightrope where you're trying to burn body fat, but you don't want to sacrifice muscle tissue. Well, this can be a really, really good source for you. Vegans, vegetarians, that's really going to be the main people. Again, if you're taking in a lot of calories, there's really not a need to supplement BCAAs. If you're taking good whey protein, casein, some blended protein, you're going to get a lot of BCAAs there. Plus, you're getting a lot of calories from carbohydrates and fats. You've got it taken care of. So I think those are the people who are going to benefit most from taking a BCAA supplement. So overall, they have not tasted this specific one. We do get pretty good feedback on the taste. And again, as I mentioned, the fact that these are a malate form, they may mix a little better. Not sure if people have run into problems with mixing the other BCAA supplements. I know with Extend and Ice, I've never really seen any issues with that, with anyone who's taken that, or myself personally taking it. So should mix up pretty well for you too. That being said, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to post them in the comments section of the video or on the blog. We're happy to answer them. Also, you can find us on Facebook now at facebook.com/BestPriceNutrition. Thank you.